No, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Clock is wrong.
Huh?
Perfect.
We can't start. We could start without him, but. Go see if he's out there. Yeah,
Okay,
please.
5 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock. And by that clock, it's not, but we're going to start.
And it's quite toasty in
All
here,
right.
so.
Ready?
Well, we're gonna see if.
I'd like to call to order the Springfield Local School Board meeting for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Would you?
Roll call. Mrs. Frola,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Here.
Mr. Mason. Here. Mr. Furlong. Here. Mr. Hofer. Here.
Okay. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make sure I set my seat right.
Item number 4 is honor roll certificates. Mrs. Montalcino, would you want to
Sure.
start?
So, OSBA, the Ohio School Board Association, has, they know the importance of businesses and schools working together. So when we got it across our email of like, who does a lot for our district, 2 names came to us immediately. And that was the Pence Brothers and Uncle Tito's. Just some of the things that they do for us, the Pence Brothers, especially John and his wife, who are here, so thank you for coming, have been instrumental in helping supplement funds for students at Spring Hill who might have missed out on special events. Some of the events are field trips, fees, popcorn days, snow cone days, and et cetera, so we do appreciate that. Their generous donation for the past few years have allowed our elementary students to go on to additional field trips, thus enhancing their experience outside the school building. They also volunteer for things around, even at this building, what's that called? The fascia. I think, Mr. Pence, you were driving around and you were just like at nauseum with how bad it looks.
You know,
And I think he was like, I will help fix that, and we do appreciate the donation of that, because it makes that big of a difference, so. I know when you probably go around to different buildings and everything, you look at them and you're like, oh my God, yeah, so we appreciate that. The other is Uncle Tito's, and we have the group here, so thank you for coming. And Uncle Tito's has often been willing to donate food to our staff, and we have after-school obligations. Fernando, the owner of Uncle Tito's Mix and Grill, you are an invaluable asset to Springfield local schools and the Springfield Township community. Your unwavering support for our school district is truly remarkable. You dedicate time, you dedicate resources, you let us use the back room whenever we need it at the last minute. Where can we meet? So we appreciate that. You are a family member, you're a proud Spartan, and we appreciate your commitment to us. We're fortunate to have both you and the Pence Brothers as people here in Springfield. So what we have for you, if you can come up here for us.
okay. I'll go ahead and read
Yeah,
that.
we have a
All right,
resolution.
we have a, whereas public schools and local businesses are an integral part of this community, and whereas many local businesses play a crucial role in supporting our schools, and whereas the economic health of our community, state, and nation depends on a strong public school system, and whereas collaboration between local schools and local businesses strengthens schools and the business community alike by providing a well-trained and highly educated workforce, and whereas an excellent public school system is vital to the quality of life in this community and fundamental to preserving a strong democratic society now and in the future. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Springfield School Local Board of Education names both Uncle Tito's Mexican Grill and Pence Brothers business in the 2024 OSBA Honor Roll, showing appreciation for the firm's ongoing support of this community and public school. Your work has aided this community in focusing on the goal of providing the best public schools we can for every student who attends them. And you've received your certificates, but the school board, as individuals, I think would like to add, thank you, thank you, thank you, because it's very obvious the extras you bring to the school. See, I'm gonna cry. The things that you do for our students, they can't be replaced. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And your names will be, if you have nothing to do one night and you go onto the OSBA website, your names will be added to the honor roll list. So thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to tell them they don't have to stay?
Okay, it's really hot here, so if you don't want to stay, that's fine. I mean, if you want to stay for the next section of the Student of the Month and then our Holocaust presentation, I think you'll be impressed with some of the artwork that our kids are doing. So then before the business part comes, you can leave, or you can leave now, like I said. It's warm
Thank
here.
you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you again.
You have two shy people there.
Yes.
That don't want.
They don't like recognition.
They don't want to be recognized. They don't want us to say thank you too much. So I think it's amazing you got them both to come out here because sometimes they don't want to. All right, at this point, Springfield High School and Junior High Student of the Month recognition.
No.
Wow, I missed
No,
something.
yeah, we're number 5.
Okay, we're going to look at, I'm sorry. Summit Holocaust and Genocide Arts and Writing Contest winner recognition. Kelly?
Well, thank you for having Lydia and I thought Lydia teaches creative art. I'm the drawing and painting teacher at the junior high and high school. This year was the 36th annual Summit Akron Holocaust Arts and Writing Boston County. And I have some good pictures. Hopefully Mr. Boswell is able to hold up for us. This year there were dozens of schools that participated. There was 70% more participation this year than last year. We gained Hoban this year joined, Mogador joined, so there were dozens of schools that participated. We'll talk about this here quickly. So how this works, you can either do a writing piece, you could do a fictional piece, or you could do a non-fiction piece, or you could create a work of art. The work of art could be anything. It could be a drawing, it could be a painting, it could be 3D, anything that you could possibly think of. We were so excited. We had some of our advanced students participate. I pulled mine out of study hall and she pulled hers out of her class, and we presented this opportunity because it is really tons of work for the kids. And not only did they have to come up with an idea, this year's theme was heavy, how hatred turns to violence. And I thought, this is a really heavy theme. And then when things started to develop in the world this year, things in Ukraine, things in Israel, Gaza, I'm like, wow, this could be more, this is what's happening right now, how hatred turns to violence. I had 3 students that wanted to be part of this, and we had 1 student out of our 4, all 4 won something. So we're over the moon happy for them. My three paintings, different media, which you will see here. We received a first place, a second place, and an honorable mention, and we're just over the moon for them. First and second place, and that's what these slides are for, they invited us somewhere super special this year, the Maltz Museum. If you've never had a chance to go, gosh, what I recommend. It was about a 45 to 50-minute drive, Beechwood, Ohio. If you want to hit some slides, I'll sort of walk us through. So they took us on a tour of the museum. They explained everything that they had going on there. They related it to things that happened here in Ohio. I'll try to get through so we don't talk too long. That was actually one of the pieces in the museum, one of the photographs that became inspiration for one of my students' pieces, coincidentally. So was that one, so I took that. And then they just talked about how the hatred came here. It was just such a great day. So many hate groups here in Ohio, as well as the entire United States, over 700 hate groups. The students were wonderfully behaved, so engaged, really learning with outside of a textbook, so hands-on. Those are the hate groups that are just here in our state, unfortunately. And that is as of today. Those are the hate groups as of today. Those are two students there, Alejandro Alvarez and Leah Odom. Okay, Stanley, I gotta talk a little bit about Stanley. So, if you're a tech person, I found this to be incredible. So, Stanley Burnell lived in Northeast Ohio. From the age of 19 on, he passed away in 2019. He was 94. We watched a video of Stanley and his life. He came here to the United States, got married, had 4 daughters, and didn't really talk about much that happened to him while his own family was young. As his family got older and they started to ask him more and more, there you see Stanley on the screen. He decided he needed to share his story. Steven Spielberg in 2017 used AI to record Stanley and about a dozen other Holocaust survivors for days. He would sit 10 hours a day in that pose, and using AI, filmed him. So what that means for us, as we were sitting there, the students could ask him anything. Hey Stanley, what was it like to be dark? And he would answer them. It was amazing. Students were crying, we had goosebumps. We have a short video, hopefully it'll play. One of the students asked, how did you survive?
Has nothing to do with it. Be a good person, be good to others. And that is very important. And I learned to trust myself. Don't ever give up.
So when they asked him, how did he survive? He was taken to the concentration camp at 16, which were about the ages of the students that I took. So they found that very, my age. They took him and his siblings and his parents. Unfortunately, he was the only one that survived. You either went to a camp to work or a camp to, unfortunately, a death camp. He was put to a camp to work because he was 16 and he was strong. He described how they starved them at the death camp. So how he survived was eating worms. He said, I quickly learned I went outside and I played in the dirt and I could eat 2 worms a day and I would survive. He was there for 3.5 years. The Russians came to liberate him and he didn't have enough strength to stand up anymore. He was 19. did live, spent some time, obviously he lived, spent some time getting strong, went back to his home, knocked on the door. This is my house, I've survived. And I said, no, this is not your house. You don't belong here. He had nowhere to go. So he came to here. They put him on a boat a week later, ended up in New York City, and 6 months later, he ended up in Northeast Ohio. And it was just amazing to see the students ask things that were so deep and so profound, coming from somebody who actually, lived through this. It was really amazing. Those are our winners. Alejandro Alvarez on the left is an 11th grader and 2 won second place. Besides the honor of the museum trip, he also received $180. Leah Odom on the right, she is a senior. And if you're wondering why she's holding 2 separate things, so there is the writing portion and the visual portion. She won what is called Best of Show. She was the best of all of it. So it was really quite the honor. And she received $220 and first place in Best of Show. And there's Leah's piece titled Tears of the Targeted. So the meaning of her portrait obviously is the target on her. Those are the words that they called the Jews. She did all the research, the horns. It was really quite a beautiful piece. And that was Leah accepting her award on awards night. They also had to write an artist statement that had to explain their piece and what the symbolism was in their piece. Alejandro Alvarez was just the most beautiful watercolor. Being this far away from it doesn't really do it, oh, there we go, the justice it deserves. The portraiture and the line work and all the faces on the bottom right-hand corner were just absolutely, was amazing, breathtaking. And that's his artist statement.
Allison went for the 3D piece, and she got an honorable mention. Is it?
Yeah. There's Allison receiving her award and her artist statement. And then that's her 3D piece.
And she tied in the background, it ties in what's happening today, so she took headlines from the news today in the background and then incorporated the shirt. She made the shirt, she painted it, she made the star, and she created everything on there, the barbed wire, and brought the wood in and assembled all of it. So she had an honorable mention for it. She did a great job.
Jenna is a 12th grader, and she received, we haven't got to her painting yet, she also received an honorable mention. Hers is titled Violent Imbalances. That was the night of the awards show. Hopefully we'll get to Jenna's.
I didn't see it.
Oh, well, oh no, it was beautiful. Oh well, I'll have to put it on my website. But we are just super proud of our Spartans, and this was such an amazing opportunity for them, and we all learned a lot, and we appreciate you having us here tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
And what did you say, we had 4 kids who,
4.
and all four received something? And approximately how many kids, you said there was a lot more this year? Over 2, so, kudos to the kids, kudos to you, and, thank you for still encouraging our kids to do things like this, because it really does broaden their horizons, so thank you so much. And just on a double note, I was able to take a tour from Mrs. Weiss's classroom. She shared with me some of the kids' artwork, and I am telling you, what you two are doing in art is just phenomenal. I mean, the artwork that these kids do, I mean, there was one, I'm like, oh no, a kid didn't do that. It looked like it should have been in the art, not that I'm an artist, so I wouldn't know, but it looked amazing. And thank you. Thank you for, reaching into to that talent that our kids have.
I'm impressed. I come from, married into a artist family, so I've seen a lot of art and art shows, and I've always been proud of and impressed by Springfield
Yes.
art classes, so thank you.
And you know what, too, and having, two teachers that are willing to bring our artwork out so people can see it.
Yes, absolutely.
It takes extra time, it takes extra effort, and, you get to share what we get to see with everyone, so thank you.
And there is involved in time, the time that goes into teaching that and helping them develop an idea and what do you think? Should I do this? And then let's fix it. Those are the parts I always like to sneak in and look at when I was at the high school. So thank you. All right. Now I'm on 6, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'll do it right. I don't want to do Mrs. Warner wrong. You wanna-
Before I talk about Student of the Month, I would like to acknowledge Kelly and Libby as well. Those students who are doing work for them should be or are in an advanced level art class, like 3 or 4, and those classes don't exist like standalone by themselves. We're down an art teacher, and they make room for those kids in a class where they're teaching other content, and they juggle both of those things and help the students who are in the level 1. And even though that's not maybe the ideal scenario, all those students who are in there in level 1 get to see what they could do, what they might be able to achieve. And so I can't, as a principal, make those ladies do that. They do that because they love our students and they love their content, and they deserve the credit for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I am here to present both our Student of the Month for April and for May for junior high and high school. We have one student who is present. The way that these students are chosen is teachers nominate them, and without the student's name being attached, it goes to our members of National Honor Society, and then they vet and decide who should be recognized. So we are going to start with our high school student for the month of April. Maggie, will you come up, please? Let me read to you what Maggie's math teacher said about her. So it says, Maggie's a great student in class with a positive attitude every day. She works hard outside the classroom as well to make sure she understands her academic content thoroughly. With her work ethic, she will be successful in whatever interest she pursues, and she was nominated by Lori Smith. So this, what you see up there on the screen, this will be in the building for the rest of the year. There's a copy for you. Congratulations. Our other student for the month of April, our junior high student, her name is Mia Crouch, and this is what was written by Dr. Putt. So this is full circle here. I would like to nominate Mia Crouch as a junior high student of the month. Mia is an 8th grader with a constant smile. Mia is one of the kindest and friendliest people I've had the privilege of including in my life. She always greets me when she sees me and wishes me a good day when we part. She helps her classmates and goes out of her way to make others feel included. Mia is a first-class individual, and I'm blessed to have her as a student. So that's Mia Crouch. And then our students for the month of May, typically we acknowledge the students the following month. We wanted to give these students an opportunity to be here tonight and not pull them away for their summer vacation, but I'm guessing they were a little too busy to be here this evening. But I'll make sure they get this. The first one, our high school student, is Adriana Jewell. Dr. Hartman writes, Adriana is very involved with our school. She gets good grades, and she has a job outside of school. Abe is head staff editor of the yearbook. She goes out of her way to take photographs at school events outside of class time so that we may have a log yearbook. She helps plan dances for our school and other activities. Abe is always friendly and helpful to all Spartans, including staff and students. So that was from Dr. Hartman. And if any of you were at our award ceremony yesterday, I was going to say Abe was there taking pictures, but she was a senior. She was being recognized. Her mentor was in the wing taking all those pictures, so she's bringing up someone to take her place. And our junior high student is Gabby Reyes. Gabby Reyes, she's one of our go-to girls in the office. I rely on her to give tours to new students and to welcome them. She works hard, and despite hardships, she always perseveres. And Gabby was nominated by Mrs. Charlene Moss. So those are our students of the month. Thank you.
She's not reading.
No.
All right. We'd also like to recognize the PLCC, the Portage Lake Student, Springfield Students of the Month. For March, Tawny Denham, who is in Culinary Arts. And in April, we have the PLCC Springfield Student of the Month was Mason Braswell, who is in the Law and Criminal Justice Program.
Did you see that? Ready?
Yeah,
Board
they
members
did
and-
recognize them this last week at the PLCC. Mason was representing, he had like 6 or 7 of his friends there, so it was really good. Very powerful kids. They had to do 2 months at once together too, so it was really
Okay.
nice to see them acknowledged.
Good. Good.
Sorry, I should have let you read that.
As well, she came to us in high school.
Okay.
She's done really well and is representing Springfield well.
Nice. Nice.
Sorry, Don, I should let you
Oh, you're
say
good.
that, because board members informal. I'm going to start by saying, first of all, and we will do this more than one time, that's for sure, but I congratulate the students of the class of 2024 on their upcoming graduation. And also tonight, I'd like to recognize someone here among us that I think this will probably be his last board meeting. Mr. Ulrich, am I right? Mr. Ulrich is retiring at the end of this month. It's not that we don't allow him to come, he just is choosing to retire. But I had the honor of working with Mr. Ulrich for many years, and it was an honor. It was good to watch him work with the students and always be a very caring teacher. Jeff, thank you.
I would like to say good luck tomorrow to the softball team that is playing for regionals, which is pretty big. We have a lot of talented girls on the team. Last night, they played field, and it was nice to see the seniors taken out, and it was very hard. I know our family has gotten very close to this 2024 class, so I know graduation's probably going to be very emotional this year. Not that we don't like everybody, but this year probably will hit us a little bit harder. The two gentlemen, John and Fernando, they have gone above and beyond numerous times, and I'm sure that we couldn't even list all the times that they've been. I have the pleasure that both of my kids that are still Spartans are in their classes, and our son is best friends with one of their sons. And if you know, they have a lot of sons. And there's never a time that they aren't somewhere doing something to make things better for other people. So Elizabeth Pence and Cassie, who's Fernando's wife, are kind of the silent women behind, because they're the ones that are also doing a lot. So I just want to give them the recognition.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks.
you're up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last month, I challenged everybody to write letters to our representatives, and believe it or not, one of my letters, or emails, letters, and somebody else is from another district, a treasurer from, I believe, Talmadge, struck a chord with Steve Dimitrioff. He's a rep for 35. So somewhere over this summer, we're going to have a meeting, an informative meeting, a session to try to understand. My letter to him was, where is the accountability when vouchers are passed out? So that meeting will, board members are all invited. I think Chris and Shelley will come. I'll keep everybody updated on that. So there is, when you write, sometimes doors open. I've continued to write letters. You should also. It's a very busy time at the State House. I believe that people are trying to submit bills to get them submitted before they break for the Memorial Day break, and then come back for a very short session before they break into summer, and then into the fall campaign period. House Bill 407, which is about the vouchers, is very, very interesting. It's on everybody's radar across the state. It was submitted by Gail Manning and another representative. Gail Manning has now been supplanted into the chairmanship of the primary and subcommittee on education. Adam Bird was removed. There's been a bunch of shifts in Columbus. I'll update everybody on the board of those shifts so we can see some movement there. Vans now can be used. That was part of House Bill 250. So that's interesting. And the Joint Committee, Howard Fleeter, if you've ever heard of that man, he's very good. He comes from the Ohio Education Policy Institute and the Joint Committee on Property and Tax Review. Because of the tax valuations, they've heard from him. I have also sat and listened to him in breakout sessions. A very informative individual. So that's the update from Columbus. Congratulations to the graduates of 2024. I hear wonderful accolades, not only from you, Miranda, but from other teachers. It's kind of a special group. Not that they're all not special. This one has some other ties that every class is different. Every class has its uniqueness, and this one is, from what I understand, very unique.
Very good. Same with me, just wanted to thank all the graduates. Thank you for you guys that do come out. It's nice to see people show up and be a part of things. The top 25 ceremony was absolutely amazing. Nice to see different perspectives and different role models. A lot of graduation parties and stuff. Make sure your kids are safe, make good decisions, all that good stuff. It's a new chapter, so a lot of partying, so just make sure you keep it tight. Make sure you keep an eye on them. We get a little wild with kids sometimes, so congratulations to everybody.
Just congratulations to the graduating class, and congratulations to all our students who won awards or who will be recognized for the month of April and May.
Thank you. Number 9, it is recommended that the board go into executive session at this time to discuss the employment and compensation of a public employee or official, and for reviewing negotiations or bargaining session with employees.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Mr. Adams?
Mrs. Frola?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes?
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
of course, we will be back and there will be action. So.
All right.
I'm waiting. Ready? Okay, number 10 is recommended that the board, oh, nope,
Yep.
number 11. It is
No,
recommended.
No,
number
10.
10, number 10,
10.
number 10.
Oh,
Time out,
adjourn,
Jack.
yeah, that was the magic word. It is recommended that the board adjourn executive session at this time.
So moved. Second.
Been moved in second, Mr. Adams?
Don won. Donnie won. Mr. Furlong.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Mrs. Frola.
Yes. Motion passed. All right, now 11.
Now, number 11.
It is recommended that the board approve the minutes of the regular meeting, April 16, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, Mr. Adams?
Ms. Frola.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Mr. Furlong.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 12, citizens' comments on agenda items. Citizens' comments on agenda items are welcome at this time. Participants are asked to be limited to 5 minutes duration.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Frola and Board of Education members who were so kind to be supportive and say very positive things about my employment here.
I'm sorry, my hearing aids.
He's saying thank you.
He's saying thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm not using this as a cell phone, it regulates my hearing aids, and I'm not there yet, so. All right, now I'm ready.
My name is Jeff Ulrich, 400 Cornell Street, Akron, Ohio. Springfield Local Association of Classroom Teachers, second vice president. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Springfield Local Association of Classroom Teachers. I have two brief comments that I would like to address with the Board of Education. First, there is poor communication between board members and SLACT. Board Policy 148 states, communication from staff members to the board or its committees shall be submitted through the superintendent. There seems to be a disconnect in communications with the Board of Education. The question we have is, are communications from teachers being forwarded to the board? The sense of belonging begins with communication. If there is no or little communication, often the result will be distrust and alienation. Too often in today's world and in the school district, some of us have experienced this. If I don't agree with you, I'm not going to speak to you. This is damaging to our relationships and in our ability to dialogue with one another. We do not have to agree on every issue. In fact, disagreement can be good, at least when we truly listen to understand the merits of the arguments and the people with them. The sense of belonging begins with communication. We can do better. The other comment is the concern that teachers receive no percentage increase in year 2 of the current contract. SLAC was told there was no money available for teachers in year 2 of this contract. The other unions received a percentage increase in year 2 of their contracts. Ms. Monachino, you told SLAC that an increase for teachers would not be possible since the district is under financial watch. We are the only school district in Ohio under financial watch. However, this evening, the Board of Education will approve contracts for several administrators and others on tonight's agenda and exempt employees. They have earned it, congratulations to all of them. Our point is, once again, teachers finish in last place when it comes to being compensated for their professional teaching responsibilities. Our teachers are competent educators and leaders, not failures. I interpret you refrain from interpreting what is being said as pouting. It is not. Nor should this be viewed as a last-ditch effort on my part since I'm leaving. We want the Board of Education, administration, and the teachers to shift to an attitude toward more openness, truthfulness, and dialogue, so communications can increase to better serve the students and families in the Springfield Local School District. In addition, our teachers deserve better because they are not last place recipients. Yes, the teachers in the district are first place winners in their job responsibilities and professionalism.
Thank you. Any other comments?
All right,
Okay.
before we move on, would anybody like a bottle of water? Okay.
No?
Because it's warm in here, so I just want to make sure you guys are all hydrated. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. Number 13, payment of bills. It is recommended that the board approve payment of bills for the month of April pending audit, and that is Exhibit 2 on your, on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Mr. Adams?
Mrs. Frola,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Furlong,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 14 is recommended that the board accept the financial reports from the treasurer for April 2024. This would be Exhibits 3, 4, and 5 attached to the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All right, it's been moved and second. Mr. Adams?
Mr. Furlong,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mrs. Frola.
Yes. Motion passed. Moving to number 15, which is personnel. It is recommended that the board accept or approve the following personnel items. 15.1 is resignation of classified employee Barbara Peasley, effective May 2nd, 2024. 15.2, resignation of teacher Julia Welvart, effective 24-25 school year. Number 15.3, resignation, accept the resignation of Emily Couch, effective the 24-25 school year. 15.4, employment, reassign classified employee Tina Tharp as the HR/academic/student service secretary at the Springfield Administration and Preschool Center per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure. And this would take place as of July 1, 2024. And Tina, or Mrs. Tharp, will have training to begin June 17. Number 15.5, employ Daniel LaGuardia as a classified temporary casual employee to maintain the district grounds from April 1 through September 30, 2024. Number 15.6, employment of Corey Tangsley as a 100% intervention specialist teacher per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure and his pre-employment screening, and this would be effective for the 24-25 school year. And number 15.7, employ Courtney Cecil as a 100% intervention specialist teacher per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure and pre-employment screening effective for the 24-25 school year. 15.8, employ Rebecca Boyd as a 100% English learner teacher per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure and pre-employment screening effective 24-25 school year. 15.9, employ the following as classified substitutes per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure and pre-employment screening effective the first day assigned. And that would be Sarah Boss, Linda Britton, and Stacy Davis. 15.10, employ Stacy Davis as a 3-hour educational assistant at Spring Hill Elementary per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure and pre-employment screenings effective May 13, 2024. 15.11, employ Linda Britton as a 2-hour educational assistant at Schropp Intermediate per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure and pre-employment screenings effective May 20th, 2024. 15.12, administrative contract. Approve a 3-year administrative contract for Mary Meadows, Director of Academic and Human Resources. 15.13, approve a 3-year administrative contract for Jennifer Ganser, Spring Hill Elementary Principal. 15.14, approve a 3-year administrative contract for Dustin Boswell, Business Manager. 15.5, exempted employee contract. Approve a 3-year exempted employee contract for Michael Smith, Maintenance Supervisor. 15.6, ESY teachers. Employ the following certified personnel to work extended school year summer 2024 pending a sufficient school enrollment, and pay would be $28.25 per hour up to a maximum of 64 hours. And that would cover the following: Melanie Smothers, Rodney Bowen, Katie Luda, Mary Beth Mitchell, Sheila Wright, and Katie Dacus for speech. 15.7 ESY aides. Employ the following to work extended school year summer 2024 pending sufficient student enrollment at an hourly rate of $14.57 up to a maximum of 56 hours. That would cover Nancy Ahrens, Meredith Williams, Kathy Ray, and Tracy Cole. 15.8, the LPDC committee members. Approve the following certified staff to serve as LPDC members for the 23-24 school year per the negotiated SLACT agreement: Dana Floyd, Jenny Ganser, Kelly Humanansky, Mary Meadows, Kim Starkey, and Tricia Williams. And 15.19, accept the resignation of classified employee David Barber, effective May 21, 2024. A motion to cover all personnel.
So moved.
Second.
I would like to take a moment to introduce Courtney Cecil. She is right here. She is coming to us with a little bit of experience. She's had some wonderful training in the past, and we're excited to bring her in. She's really excited to come over to Springfield Local Schools, and she is a wealth of knowledge on the science of reading, so that's phenomenal. We also have Corey Tanksley coming to join us here in Springfield. Some of you might know that name. He has been employed here in the past as a coach. He is coming over to join our high school, junior high, as an intervention specialist, and so that's phenomenal. And then Rebecca Boyd is currently our English language teacher. We employ her through Summit County ESC, so instead of going through a third-party contract, we're just going to bring her on the payroll at this point in time.
So is this your family?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this is totally off, but like, my son just graduated from college. And he graduated Saturday, started his job on Monday. And I think it's great that you're here because I wanted to go take a picture of like first day of work. And I got denied. But I love that you guys are here and thank you for coming. And congratulations.
Welcome to the Spartan family.
Yes, thank you.
I wondered why you were here. I'm like, I don't recognize these people.
Well, I saw him like hit her when her name
Yeah,
was called.
Don't forget to get a picture.
So Miranda, were
Yeah,
you
pick
denied
up
by
your
your
phone,
son or
take
by
a
their
picture of
work?
By my son.
You tell them that they
And
have
you
a
didn't
fourth son,
sneak
can't
in
you?
the,
I did get a
at
picture
kindergarten,
by the girlfriend.
I was told no, and I snuck in the bushes.
I would keep that on.
I can see you doing that, Cynthia.
So welcome.
Aye.
We're glad that you're joining us. Thank
We
you.
need to vote?
You need to vote.
All right.
Mrs. Frola,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Furlong,
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Motion passed. You are now.
Congratulations again. Glad you're here.
Congratulations. And thank you for offering your services to our
Yes.
kids. Thank you. All right, number 16, resolution regarding tentative agreement with exempted employees. Resolved that the board hereby adopts a resolution regarding a tentative agreement reached with the exempted employees on April 25th, 2024 for a benefit and salary agreement, and authorizes and directs the superintendent to execute a final agreement reflecting the agreement on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Mr. Adams?
Mr. Furlong,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Frola,
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Motion passed. It is number 17 is recommended that the board approve a memorandum of understanding with the exempted employees regarding the work calendars for 2023-24 and 24-25.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, just real briefly, so what 17 and 18 is, so remember when we changed the calendar for the days that we're taking, we have to do it for all of them. So that's what those two calendars are.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Furlong.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Frola.
Yes. Motion passed. All right, excuse me, 18 is recommended that the board approve a memorandum of understanding with OPSI Local 530 regarding the work calendars for 23-24 and 24-25. Same explanation.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved and second?
That one's just class size.
No, this is still the calendar.
That's the next one. Okay.
Yeah, it's the next one.
Mr. Furlong,
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mrs. Frola,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Abstain.
Okay, motion passed. 19, it is recommended that the board approve a memorandum of understanding with the Springfield Local Association of Classroom Teachers regarding accepting students in excess of the maximum class size numbers outlined in the negotiated agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second?
So this was just our kindergarten class was very large this year, and there's a class list and class amount that they're allowed to have, and they're allowed to have 3 over that to get paid. We were a couple kids over that, so a couple of our teachers, 3 of our teachers agreed that they would take a larger class size.
Okay, and this is to pay for what has happened thus far
Yes, this is to pay
year.
what happened so far.
Okay.
My apologies, I put the 2 calendars together.
That is okay.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes,
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
motion passed. Number 20, it is recommended that the board approve the 2024 seniors listed in Exhibit 9 to receive a diploma from the Springfield High School after having met all the requirements as set forth by the state of Ohio and the Springfield Board of Education, and that is Exhibit 9.
So moved.
Second.
One of the most exciting
Yeah.
ones that we're voting on.
So if we say no, they can't leave?
That's exactly. Okay.
What'd you say?
So if we say no, they can't leave?
Well, you know, I was going to say that.
I'm sure
What
a
if we
couple
don't
parents
say-
would be happy.
We would be in big
Yeah,
trouble,
they would not like us.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to call her first. Ms. Terry?
Sorry, Destiny, but no. Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes,
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
all right, motion passed, and graduates are okay if you're
Yes.
listening. All right, 21, it is recommended that the board approve a resolution pursuant to Section 3313.41 of the Ohio Revised Code, which authorizes the disposal of real property owned by the board that is no longer needed for any school purpose.
So moved.
Second.
So this is I'm sorry, this is the land for Roosevelt. We have to vote on anything that's over $10,000 to, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we have to offer it first to a charter
Yeah, this
school.
will begin a process, and it'll go through the, guided under Ohio Revised Code. First step will be to offering it to charter community schools that are within our footprint there. If, once it's offered to them and they have a certain number of days to accept that, if nobody does, then we'll move on to an auction situation and begin the notification process for that under Ohio Revised Code. So we'll keep you updated as we move through that process and get it started here quickly. The site is completely done now. They just this week did the spring seeding to make sure the soil stays intact as it was there, so that is now complete. So we'll get the fences down here shortly and then get through this process.
Almost there. That was one of the projects of the tie-in of the 712 that building disappeared. Finally, after all these years.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes,
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
motion passed. Number 22, it is recommended that the board approve a service agreement with Frontline Education to provide electronic staff onboarding and management services. And the agreement is Exhibit 11.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second, Mr. Adams?
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes, motion passed. Number 23, it is recommended that the board approve an agreement with Springfield Township regarding the JEDD, the JED Park, and that agreement is Exhibit 12.
So moved.
Second.
So just, this is, for a while, we've been having a agreement with Jet Park where we were paying them $8,500. We met with Mr. Hofer, Mrs. Terry, and Mr. DeLauro Dustin and myself with, to talk about a new agreement with Jed Park that is going to be beneficial to both parties. We are now going to pay $50 per game and $30 for practice. And one of the agreements is that they are going to provide 2 working electronic scoreboards. So we're happy that we were able to work together on this.
And thank you, Dave and Miranda, for,
And our costs go down, actually.
Yes, a much.
They go down a lot.
Yes, a lot.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Frola?
yes, I vote for that.
That was a good one.
Okay. 24.1, the following are overnight extended trips. 24.1, it is recommended that the board approve an overnight extended trip for the high school cheer team and chaperones to travel to Ashland University to attend the cheerleading summer camp from June 26 through June 29, 2024. All expenses for this trip are paid through fundraising and by the participants.
So moved.
No, wait, there's one more. It is recommended that the board approve an overnight extended trip for the boys' basketball team and chaperones to travel to Findlay University to attend basketball team camp from June 14 through June 16, 2024, and all expenses are paid through fundraising and by the participants.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Motion passed. That's a lot of business. All right, at this time then, Mr. Adams?
No, we still have donations. We have one more,
Huh?
25.
Oh, the donation. I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
may screw up enough tonight. It is recommended that the board accept a donation from Pence Brothers to wrap or cover the exposed wood fascia at the Springfield Administration and Preschool Center, and this donation is valued at $11,500.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes,
Mr. Furlong?
Yes.
motion passed, and thank you again, Mr. Pence. All right. Going to use,
Yeah.
Tonight's going to be, usually in May, we have our 5-year forecast, but since we did it in April, we're going to start a series on, all a series, but I'm going to focus on the impact of the renewals coming in November and how they're essential to our survival. Okay, so we're going to go down, as you can see, the revenues, like for this year, $26,240,000. I got a pointer this time. Okay, you want to go down, expenditures, $24,433,000. You'll notice that we are actually in a pretty good spot with a big if. Go down a little farther, let's see what. Meaning cash. We haven't seen these numbers, I've never seen these numbers in the 14 years I've been here, okay? But look what happens here. We fall off the cliff, right? In 27 and 28, it's really bad. The reason that is because the renewals are not up in the general property. So, these are the renewals and how much it generates per year. As you can see, the renewals are the lifeblood of this district. They represent over 40% of our property taxes that we get. Springfield voters, they don't approve continuing operating funds. They approve renewals. And they've always approved it year after year after year. With the approval of those 3 We have 3 this year. Go down. I could stand here and state that it'll be years, many years. I won't comment after 5, but at least 5 years, but I expect more, that we won't need anything else. Now remember, renewals don't cost the taxpayers any more money. It's already paid for. Okay? And I don't expect, and what's amazing is, okay, we've gone 23 years without a new operating levy. This will take us to 30 years almost. There's not many districts that state they have gone 30 years without new money. But I can't emphasize enough, if you would go to the next page, Dustin. This is what I'm talking about. No additional levies for years. Renewals cost taxpayers no additional taxes. And what does it do for us? What does it do for our superintendent and our board? It allows the district to expand programs and services. That's what it's all about, which means we can provide more stuff for our kids. We can provide more stuff for our teachers. We can provide more stuff for our classified boys. And more importantly, with the passage of these renewals, it'll keep our district appealing. I know we dropped the 3.7 new operating money because of the valuation changes. And I know the valuation changes start with 4, with some. But this is how I look at it, and this is how my dad looked at it, and like any other parent looked at it. If your property values are going up, that's a good thing. If you gotta pay another couple $100 a year for your property taxes, and you realize a $30,000 to $50,000 gain in the valuation, that's a good thing. I'll take that every day of the week. Because if you divide $200 a year increase, or even $300, into the $40,000 or $50,000 your house is worth, it would take 2 lifetimes to pay. So, and we want to keep that there. We want people's property values to continue to rise, because that means there's a vibrant community going on, and when you say vibrant community, you mean the school district. So, we're going to start a revamp of the finance committee, and this is going to be the topic when we talk about it. It is critical. I can't stress that enough. Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Central office.
Just like to say congratulations to the class of 2024. Look forward to graduation, and as we get into summer and my department, this is a time we get to change gears and work on some projects. So it's a busy time of year, and look forward to that. And as we go through those projects this summer, I'll update you as we get them completed.
Also, congratulations to the class of 2024, and for everyone, have a safe and happy summer.
And my announcement is we are starting central registration here at the administration building for grades pre-K to 6. That will start on July 1st. So if you know people that are enrolling into the district and they're in preschool up to 6th grade, they'll come here. They'll meet with our secretary and get everything they needed checked out for enrollment and everything like that. And then 7 through 12 will still remain at the junior high school with Mrs. Duffield.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about House Bill 250. So House Bill 250 was signed into by Mike DeWine, and it is the new law that will require every school district in Ohio to establish an official policy governing cell phone usage during school hours, and seeks to minimize student use of cell phones in K-12 schools. We're actually ahead of schedule. This was a conversation that we started at the high school with a committee of teachers and administration. And we are starting to slowly roll it out this year. It will be in effect for next year. It will be on the board agenda to be voted on as part of the handbook for the K-12. And then I will be working with Schropp to be working on a cell phone policy for Schropp. That we don't have too much of a cell phone policy at Spring Hill. There's not too many K-3 kids that are bringing their cell phones to school. Just so the people know what's out there, you'll be getting an email from me with this policy. Mrs. Warner is going to be making videos for the students that every student is going to be able to play on their Chromebooks. And we're already letting kids know. I just wrote a story. I was talking to a 6th grade student, and I was asking them if they were excited about going up to the middle school, and they were like, yes, I get to keep my cell phone out the whole time. And I said, oops, no, sorry, new policy. She fell to the floor screaming, no. And I was like, yes. So basically what it is that it's going to be any personal communication device that can, that's web enabled. So cell phones, tablets, electronic readers, smart watches, or like I said, any other web enabled. They're prohibited during normal instructional school hours, including study halls, and instructional hours are from 7:35 to 2:30, except for lunch. The kids will be able to have their cell phones during lunch to check emails, to check text messages. If their parents want to get a hold of them through cell phone, they'll be able to check it during lunch. If these devices are brought to school, they're going to have to be powered off and concealed and secured in hall lockers or in a student's book bag to prevent distraction of the learning environment. It cannot be on their pocket. It cannot be anywhere on them. They have to be powered off and out of sight. The electronic devices may be permitted outside of instructional time, such as before 7:35 morning bell rings, during lunch in the cafeteria, after school, and during after-school activities. However, while they're using these devices during this time, any type of distracting behavior with them can lead to disciplinary action. And that is, students are prohibited from using electronic devices to capture, record, or transmit words or audio or images of any student, staff member, or other people in the school, or while attending a school-related event without express prior notice and explicit consent. So they can't, they can't just shoot a picture of somebody like if somebody falls. Back in the day, if you fell, only the people that were there that saw it. Now, somebody falls, it's captured forever, so they can't be taking pictures. And students are prohibited from using electronic devices in any way that might reasonably create in the mind of another person an impression of being threatened, humiliated, harassed, embarrassed, or intimidated. And these two descriptions are actually in our board policy. Violations of the above rules during lunch can result in no cell phones during lunch at that time, so we'll be monitoring it. Any calls made by students during school hours must be made on a school phone with the staff member approval. And parents, if you want to get a hold of your child, you call the school and somebody will come down and get them or transfer it over to the classroom. Every classroom does have phones, so it's there. Cell phones will be permitted for students if needed to monitor or address health conditions. So the violations of the electronic device policy will result in the following. First offense, the phone is confiscated. It's a verbal warning, and then the item is returned to the end of the day, and the parent is notified. Second offense, it's confiscation of the item, Friday detention, and then the second offense, the item must be picked up by the parent or guardian. Third offense, the item is confiscated. It's a 2-day in-school suspension, and the item must be picked up by the parent or guardian. Fourth offense, it's a 3-day out-of-school suspension, and then item must be picked up by parent or guardian. If there happens to be a fifth offense, it's the confiscation of an item. It's a 5-day out-of-school suspension, and then the student loses the privilege of actually bringing the phone to school. and the item must be picked up by a parent or guardian. If it's the sixth offense, and you would hope that by the sixth offense, you would learn, it's confiscation, and it's going to be a 10-day out-of-school suspension with recommendation for expulsion. So that means they will be coming to see me, and the item must be picked up by a parent or guardian. It's possible to have more than one offense a day because I learned through the committee meeting that kids have more than one cell phone. So there's a couple kids that have 2, 3 cell phones on them. Why? I do not know. But from what the committee has said, that they pull out one cell phone, the teacher will take it, they'll go to another classroom, and they'll have another cell phone. The school, and this is right from our board policy, the school reserves the right to access information on a confiscated device in accordance with the board-approved policies on search and seizure. Now, here is the most important, I mean, those are all important, but failure to give the device to an adult, because now you're also being insubordinate, will result in a minimum 3-day out-of-school suspension. So if you read all the studies about cell phones during school, it is detrimental, and that's why Governor DeWine signed into Bill 250. Now, he didn't sign in that of what exactly every school policy needs to be, but his wording of minimize student use of cell phones during instructional time. So I was very proud of the committee. This was, we met, I would say, 4 times. We met 4 times. The teachers did research. They looked at other school policies. They talked with other teachers. They talked with other administrators. And this is a combination of, we took the best of what we liked in everybody's policy. And we're going to see that by June of 2025, every school is going to have a policy like this. So we know it's going to be hard. We know it's going to be a mind shift. We know that we're taking away an addiction from students. We understand that. Parents, guardians, family members, what we're asking for right now is maybe to start helping during the summertime. You know, I mean, you're starting to see, you know, Friday free cell phones, or starting to limit when they're on their cell phones. You know, our kids never get to turn off. They're on 24 hours. They sleep with their cell phone next to them. They wake up in the middle of the night. They're checking their cell phones. There's no break away from the constant. And there's, Josh Benson suggested a book, The Anxious Generation, and it's written by a psychologist, and it talks about that this is really rewiring the brains of our kids. And it's a generation that, you know, we're just starting to see. So, like I said, it's going to take, when we talk about taking a village, this is really going to take a village to work, because it's going to be different. And different sometimes is good. And we know that change is hard, and we know that real change is real hard, and this is going to be real change. So,
I have a question.
yes.
And I know the teachers have probably explored this, but I didn't hear the word.
Smartwatch, I said it.
Smartwatch.
No, I did.
Okay, then I
Yes,
missed it.
yes, it's cell phones, tablets, electronic readers, smartwatches, or other web-enabled devices.
So then they're going to have to turn their smartwatch off.
I would be safe not to come to school with it on,
Yeah.
would be my guess. Unless, of course, it's used for medical, because we do know that sometimes these devices are used to test sugar levels
Yeah.
and insulin and things like that. So, yes.
You mentioned about purchasing a safe.
Yes, thank you. So we are going to be purchasing a safe, so when the cell phones are confiscated, they will be in the office, thank you, and they will be in a safe for that, because I am going to guess that after the 3rd or 4th time, there might be some parents that are going to say, keep it. And we've had some already, there's some parents that, we've had some cell phones that have been there for, and the parents are like, you know, after the 3rd time, I'm not coming to pick it up again. I told my kid not to bring, like, why does it have to be on? So, and there are some schools that we did look into that have already started this, and they have said that they have seen an improvement in behaviors, they've seen an improvement in test scores, and just the improvement in the social interaction of kids. And whatever they need, they have their Chromebooks with them, you know? So it's, like I said, it's going to be, Ms. Warner and I will sit down and we will talk, because there are going to be some exceptions that we need to talk about, and we will work with that and the committee to work through those exceptions.
Yeah, I think one of the exceptions that was highlighted through the last couple of weeks were if it was built into the curriculum for the day, that message goes out to the parents the night before that states, we talked about, Ms. Williams, where if it's built in, hey, tomorrow during this period, we'll be utilizing this for photography or whatever the case may be. So
Right.
it's built in preemptively.
Right, because we do have robots, Spheros, that are programmed through the phones.
Right.
So when the teachers are going to use the Spheros, they would say it would be in their lesson plans, cell phones will be used, and it will be, you know, something that, because you should be planning ahead anyway. It's not a whim of a thing.
Yeah, the interesting thing with industry is, and I've shared this with Shelley, I'm required to have a cell phone at work, and it's just a part of the regiment that I do, working in the controls field in an Amazon facility. I don't work for Amazon, but I am required to have that, and the amount of communication I have to have with just RME, which stands for the group that I am in, Reliability, Maintenance, and Engineering, and operations is just mind-blowing. For somebody my age, that's a challenge. Now, somebody Parker's age that have grown up with it, it's a little bit easier. So there's some generational differences, and I can see that. As far as curriculum, that there will be times when they have to do research on it, because we do that same thing.
But now, remember, so when cell phones first came out, you know, when teachers, you had to bring your own device to school, that was when schools weren't one-to-one. So now, every student has a Chromebook. So they can do their research on their Chromebook, they can do, we use Google Classroom. Their calculators on their Chromebook. There's a translation on their Chromebook. So there's different things on their Chromebook that back in the day before we went to one-to-one, and COVID really pushed us one-to-one like that. But to your point, yes, there are some things like with the digital photography, the programming of the robots. If there's something that a cell phone can do that a Chromebook can't do.
It's really not a cell phone anymore. It's a microcomputer on steroids.
Absolutely.
So it fits a different role.
Yes.
And I agree with where you're heading. I agree with as a board. I just want you to be
Yeah.
aware that in industry, it is charging hard.
Yes.
That this will be a normal
Yeah,
thing.
it is a normal, and it's a normal now. It's a normal now. It's you know, but I think what we need to do a better job of, and help me, is that we need to help teach the kids the proper use of it.
Fully agree. Absolutely.
That's
100%.
That's the important part of it. It's you can't use it to, you know, back in the day when we used to write notes to each other, you know, and you set it up as a little football and you fling it to somebody, and if the teacher got it, they hung it up on the wall. It's not, I mean, it's now kids hide behind it, and it's a cruel, it can be a very cruel tool
Some of the
also.
psychology behind the phone is very detrimental.
So, and we do know that this is going to be a huge, huge, huge paradigm shift, but you know what? First of all, it's law. So we have to follow Governor DeWine, because, you know, we do like getting our state money. You know, and if we don't follow things like this, they can cancel our money. And the studies behind it. So it's really going to be interesting. I'm going to be very curious. We're going to start taking data starting next year on what our data does along with this.
So when we've been talking about the cell phone, you know, the policy, I've already found myself, because I have to have my phone, because I can adjust my hearing aids through my phone, and I tried it on my iPad, and it didn't quite work right, and I thought, I'm going to have to wear a sign that says, I'm not using it to socialize.
And I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna be hard for adults. I shared with the committee that the one day I was doing hall duty at the high school, and I was just standing there, and I just pulled my cell phone out just to check my email or to do whatever I was doing, and I panicked. I was like, oh no, and I put it away right away because I want to be a model too for the kids, saying that, no, I you know what, and you talk to the kids. I mean, so we talked about, you know, as for the teachers, what, do they need to be the role models to help with that? So, I know.
Come up with a
Well, like I
sign.
said, like I just now, I wanted to look up House Bill 250 so I could say exactly what it said. So it is, and I don't have my computer in front. I guess I could have my computer in front of me, but
Anything else?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
That was a lot.
items worthy of
And it's
your
8
note,
o'clock.
on May
Short meeting.
27th, that's Memorial Day, no school. May 30,
Okay, just for Memorial Day, we do have the parade. It starts at 11 o'clock. If you're going to be in it, you have to be up here at
10.
10? You have to be up here at 10.
that's in Lakemore.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's in Lakemore, yes.
Set up will
Starting
be
at the high school again?
Yes, setup will be at the high school. I will be on a
Rotary?
golf cart. Oh, just stop.
On May 30th, that's students' last day.
Woo!
We'll probably have to write a reminder, because I remember kids hardly remembered that.
Oh, no, they don't know when the last day is. We don't know how many days left of school we have.
May 30th is also the end of fourth quarter and second semester. May 31st is the teacher's last day. May 31st is also graduation at E.J. Thomas Performing Hall. And June 18th is the next regular Board of Education meeting at 6 p.m. right here.
And graduation starts at 7 o'clock? Yes. Graduation starts at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So board members, if you could be there at 6:30? Yes. Board members, if you could be there at 6:30, we'll meet in the
Green room.
green room,
Come in the back door.
in the back door. We won't be on stage until 7, so if you gotta get there closer to 7,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Have you guys received your tickets?
All right, at this time, participants are welcome citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments?
Wrong meeting.
Are you getting up, Mr.?
I know, he was like,
I thought you were getting it. Okay, seeing none, then it is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at this time. Motion?
Who did it?
Second?
All right, it has been moved in second that the meeting be adjourned. Mr. Adams?
Mr. Furlong.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Ms. Terry. Mrs. Frola.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned, and thank you very much for your patience.
Sorry, Miranda, I said it was gonna be a short meeting.